What's up, Seahawks fans? Let's get this YouTube channel to 25,000 subs. Why should you click that sub button? We got you up to date on news, rumors, and we give you content even on the holidays. That's literally why I am here. So if you love Seattle, if you're one of the member of the 12s, then go ahead and smash that sub button. We have a lot of news and rumors to talk about here on today's show. Mitchell Renz filling in for Tom Downey because, well, he decided to take the day off, but I was like, don't worry, guys. I got you covered. We're going to be talking about DK Metcalf. We're going to be talking about a Russell Wilson trade idea from PFF. We're also going to be breaking down a running back, maybe named, I don't know, Boston Scott, who could be on his way to Seattle. So the first thing is this. Is DK Metcalf the fastest human in the NFL? Please let me know down in the comments, because this is what DK Metcalf had to say. Yeah, I could beat Tyreek in a race. Then the TMZ reporter responded, do you think you're the fastest man in the NFL, Metcalf? Yes, I do. Well, personally, I think the guy who believes that he's the fastest person in the NFL, his name's Tyreek Hill, and if you have the @name Cheetah, yeah, maybe I'm going to go throw my money down on you. He tweeted out this today. You saying, after I warm up on DK, I'm coming for you. So let me know, guys. This is going to be the pinned comment. I want you to go ahead and show some love to your guy. Type M for DK Metcalf. Type H for Tyreek Hill. I should mention, there's a difference between being football fast and winning a race. I might actually go ahead and take Metcalf with those long strides. Could the Seattle Seahawks go out and get Boston Scott? According to the Eagles' SI reporter Ed Kratz, the Seahawks are pretty high on Scott and are going to have some interest on him this offseason. He's going to be a restricted free agent, and Scott has been a strong backup / spot starter when need be. Essentially, anytime Miles Sanders has gone down, Boston Scott's been able to fill in and be like, all right, I'm a halfway decent running back. Throughout his career, though, in 2021, in his 4 starts, 87 carries, 373 yards, 4.3 average, 7 touchdowns. I mean, that's pretty solid numbers overall. In 2020, he started 4 games. He had 80 carries, 374 yards, 1 touchdown. So basically, he's going to get you about 373. Right now, I'm kidding. In 2019, again, over 4 yards per carry, 5 touchdowns. 2018, did play in 2 games, but no stats. So for me personally, I think that Scott is a solid player. However, you drafted Rashad Penny in the first round in 2018, which, sorry, probably wasn't the best thing to do. But his final 5 games that Penny had were absolutely redunculous. So after seeing that, I would rather go out and try to bring Penny back, make him the running back, instead of going out and getting somebody like Boston Scott. Because Boston Scott's never going to be a game wrecker. He's never going to be a game changer. Sure, he might be able to come in, give you 4 yards per carry, and after the game, you're like, all right, he did a good job. Rashad Penny was incredible the final 5 games. And if you stuck with him this long, maybe you should just go ahead and bring him back. So now's your chance, y'all. Let me know down in the comments section. Should the Seahawks sign Boston Scott? Type that Y for yes. You can type N for no. You can bring him in to be a complimentary back, but if you're telling me it's either Boston Scott or Rashad Penny, I'm probably going to go end up with Penny, though a lot of injury issues here for somebody like Chris Carson. More news and rumors to cover here on today's show, and should the Seattle Seahawks go out and trade for JC Tretter, the center of the Cleveland Browns? Bleacher Report, they released this article a few days ago titled, The Ideal Offseason Trade Scenario for Every Single NFL Team. The suggested trade that Seahawks should make was to reinforce their interior offensive line by going out and trading for Tretter. This was PFF's 6th highest graded center in 2021. Personally, I've always been a big fan of Tretter. He's just a tough-nosed, old-school style of football type of guy. And maybe, depending on what happens in the future with Seattle, this could be a thing that you go out and do. The only thing that's going to hurt him is, obviously, they don't have a lot of draft capital, so how can you go out and make a move like this? I don't think it costs a first-round pick, obviously, but it's going to cost some sort of draft capital. Here's what Bleacher Report's, writer Alex Ballentine man, he's really close to Valentine's Day. Thought on the whole idea. The key to fixing their offensive woes and convincing Russell Wilson he needs to stay in Seattle will be the offensive line. The guys up front finished 25th in PFF's final season rankings. While the Seahawks got solid play from Dwayne Brown at left tackle and Brandon Shell was okay at right tackle, the real area for improvement is on the interior. Ethan Posick actually did well at center with a 68.0 grade, but he could be moved back to guard where he played earlier in his career. That would leave center open, and veteran JC Tretter would make a lot of sense there. In his 1,039 snaps last season for the Cleveland Browns, JC Tretter had an overall grade of 78.7, and the way PFF does grades, if you're at a high 70, you're doing really damn good. If you're in the 80s, you're legit. If you're in the 90s, you're one of the best players in the NFL. He allowed only 1 sack, 1 hit, and 8 hurries, and that's with a quarterback by the name of Baker Mayfield, who sometimes sits back there for days and can't get rid of the football. I also agree with one of the things that Bleacher Report said. Not that Russell doesn't want to stay, but he's made it very clear he wants an offensive line, and if you can upgrade that line and convince Russ that, hey, we're not going to let you go on your butt anymore. You got DK Metcalf, who apparently is faster than Tyreek Hill. You have somebody like Tyler Lockett. You can continue to build. I get it. The division is tough, but you do need to absolutely try to bolster that interior offensive line. Now, let's just say Seattle goes out and they make a big-time trade. Let's say they sign somebody in free agency. Or if you just love the NFL draft, we got you up to date. So remember when I started that video off saying, hey, sub, guess what? More subs equals more videos. The reason why you guys got a video today, even though it was a holiday, I don't usually make Seahawks videos. Why? You guys have crossed enough subscribers on this channel where you warrant videos. That's how we work here. I want to keep you guys up to date, so hit that sub button. That way you never miss a thing. The next part of today's show is going to be me reacting to PFF's 2-round mock draft. And I want to say this right now. Sit down, because there's going to be a lot of people that are upset about what I'm about to show you. Again, this is PFF's mock. It's not mine. Here's the trade that they did. So they wanted to do a mock draft with trades. The Seahawks, they traded Russell Wilson to the Washington Commanders. The Commanders, they received Wilson. The Seahawks got a first-round pick, number 11 overall, another first-round pick in 2023, and then a second-round pick, 42 overall. All I got to say is this. PFF does some good stuff. Their trading or their, I don't know, draft guys are terrible. You're telling me Russell Wilson is worth 2 first-round picks and a second-round pick. I should also add that they thought that Derek Carr, who I respect a lot, was worth 2 first-round picks and a third. So you're telling me the only difference between Russell Wilson and Derek Carr is a second and a third-round pick. I'm sorry, you're absolutely insane. And if the Seattle Seahawks trade Russell Wilson for only 2 first-round picks, I don't know, man. You guys are just doing some wild shit in Seattle. That's all I got to say. Now, here's what The Athletic had to say on some other things going on with Washington, because there was a report out there that, who knows, maybe they can move on from Chase Young. I think almost anyone on the roster is available if the result is Washington improving at quarterback. In Young's case, that would mean the Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson level. So that's what The Athletic had to say, and maybe one of the reasons why they try to get this trade idea. Here's my take. If you're going to do that, take PFF 2 first-rounders and then that second-round pick, that's not close enough. And you know how I know it's not close enough? Because the only way I would even consider that deal is if you throw Chase Young on top of that. If you're telling me right now, Chase Young, 2 first-round picks, and then that second-round pick, yeah, I'll make that deal. The other reason why I think Washington would consider it is because, not that they don't know Chase Young's a great player. He's an unbelievable player. But they were kind of better without him last year when he went down. So here's your opportunity. I want you to call out PFF, because a lot of times people are like, oh, it's from PFF. These guys know everything. They don't know everything. They do really well at their offensive line, and besides their offensive line grades, I don't really take anything too seriously. So if you think this is a bad trade idea, and if you have a pulse, you should think it's a bad trade idea, I want you to spam LOL, because when Sam showed me this, I literally laughed out loud, because I was like, I can't even believe they're trying to pull this off as legitimate content. Now, the previous 5 picks before the trade went down, Garrett Wilson, Drake London, this is involved in an Aaron Rodgers trade, Kyle Hamilton, George Karlaftis, Charles Cross. So I saw all this and I was like, all right, man, kind of a mind-blowing thing to overall think about. And then with the 11th pick, because you have to remember, if you traded away Russell Wilson, you need to then go out and probably get a quarterback. They go with Sam Howell, quarterback out of North Carolina. Now, this is PFF's top quarterback prospect, which, okay, if they value him as the top quarterback prospect, I can understand why. He had an up-and-down season with North Carolina. A lot of people actually viewed Howell as a potential number 1 overall pick going into this season. The only thing that I do not like, I'm not the biggest fan of Sam Howell. Sorry, spoiler alert. He's my number 4 ranked quarterback. So if you're telling me that dudes like Kenny Pickett are out there, Matt Corral are out there, Malik Willis, if that's the type of trade you're going to make, then yeah, I want somebody who's an absolute slam dunk. Howell's not ready to go, and if that's the move they make, get ready for a rebuild. Now in 2020, he had 35 total touchdowns, 7 interceptions. This past year, 35 total touchdowns, 9 interceptions. He also can rush the football pretty well, which is what he did his next step forward. One of the things that I did like from Howell, he struggled early on in this season and did get better of late. He's got a big body. He's a good player. And I know I don't want to sit up here and just say, oh, you know, you judge the helmet. Sorry, dude. He kind of reminds me of Mitchell Trubisky. I'm not going to lie. So we always try to break things down for you. And now this would also give you 2 second-round picks if you're the Seahawks. You'd have the number 42 overall pick, the number 43 overall pick, which is pretty nice. It just, you lost me with the Russell Wilson trade idea. But with picks 42 and 43, since this is a 2-round mock, here were the picks right before. DeMarvin Leal at 41. At 40 was Kenny Pickett. So Kenny Pickett at 40 or Sam Howell at 11. Yeah. Zion Johnson, Leo Chenal, and then Kingsley. Can never get that last name right, so I'm not even going to try it. But at pick number 40, are we going to do 42 or 43? Because we got pick number 43. Got it. So the Seattle Seahawks, and I'm going to do my best here, guys, because this one is a tough name to get. It's Arnold Ebiketie. He is 6'3", 256-pounder from Penn State, and I love this young man's upside. And yes, the number 42 pick. 62 tackles, 18 tackles for loss, 9.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and a pass breakup. His upside to be a legit edge rusher, it's there. When you look at the Seahawks edge rushers as it stands right now, I love Carlos Dunlap. He can put his hand in the dirt still. Rasheem Green, he's a free agent. Y'all know that I've always been a big fan of Benson Mayowa, and you need to be able to go out and find a replacement for him sooner rather than later. So the fact that they went with him at 42, okay. And then at number 43, they go with the cornerback out of Auburn, Roger McCreary. Physical, and I like this pick a lot. He had 49 tackles last season, 2 tackles for loss, a sack, 2 INTs, 14 pass breakups for Auburn. Now, what do you guys think about this? PFF's mock, okay? You got Sam Howell at number 11, Arnold at number 42, the edge rusher from Penn State, Ebiketie, and then Roger McCreary at 43 overall. Here's your opportunity, so please go ahead and grade it down in the comment section. A, B, C, D, or F. In terms of just these picks, if you're telling me you're starting off a draft with these 3, obviously that's pretty good, but you have to take in consideration the draft or the trade that went down. For that reason, I'm sorry. I am going to give this mock draft an F because if anybody thinks that you can trade Russell Wilson for 2 first picks is absolutely insane to me.